upon the hockey Eagles post-game show as we do it on a Christmas day. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. We are not at Ocean today, but by the miracle of the remote backgrounds, we are kind of still at Ocean. Joining us now, Kayla Santiago, and boy, Mark's Jewelers must have had a big run of jewelry for this Christmas, Kayla, right? Kayla with us?
Muted, Kayla?
Yeah, she's not on. Her voice is not on.
Oh, now you got me.
There we go.
Okay, awesome. So Mark's Jewelers are definitely some good holiday gifts, Christmas presents, but if you still want to go out there and get something for your special someones, the sales are not over. They have sales from the 26th to the 30th, so you can get them for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, start off 2024 with a bang with Mark's Jewelers. And that will lead us to our diamond debate. And I know you guys were discussing this a little bit earlier on, but this game, they came out with a win, but it wasn't too pretty against the New York Giants, a team that nobody thinks is good. I don't think is good, and the Eagles don't look too great either. So I want to throw it to you guys. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Realistically, the Eagles don't have a super tough schedule. They got the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants once again. But do you think that this team can compete in the playoffs, the wild card round, the divisional, NFC championship, or Super Bowl? Right now, divisional in the Twitter poll on the JAKIB Media Twitter page is at 33% with the divisional round. Do you agree with that?
I got to be honest with you. I can't even predict that they would win a game against the Rams if that's their first round opponent at this point. The Rams aren't that bad. They're not like the Giants, so they may be competitive. The only edge the Eagles would have in that game, it's a home game. Do I doubt that they could beat the Lions? Probably. I doubt that they could beat anybody with certainty in my heart right now. So whether that's the Rams or whether that's the Lions, before they even get to San Francisco, which I know is not going to be pretty, I am in a doubt right now. This is why these last three games, Kayla, I've got to look at it and say, what can they show me that what kind of progress can they show me where I would actually believe they're a viable playoff team? I didn't get it today. So we move on to two more games left.
And we were talking about that at halftime. Even if they do win, well, it's the New York Giants. It's not like a fantastic win on the season anyway. Seth, I'll go to you. There's actually 29 people that think they could get eliminated in the wild card round and then 22% for the NFC championship. Do you think they get past the first round? Are you with Mike?
Well, I think it depends on who they play.
Right.
I think if they, somehow if they can get the 2 seed and wind up, with the winner of the NFC South, there's a chance that they can absolutely beat Tampa Bay or beat, Atlanta, whoever comes out of that as the divisional winner.
They wouldn't get those unless they finish in the 5th seed. But the 2 seed, they wouldn't get that, either of those teams.
Well, the 2 seed gets the worst remaining.
Yeah, but Tampa Bay is going to win their division. Tampa Bay wins their division, so they would be in the 4th seed anyway. No matter
the wild card. So who is the wild card? Potentially Seattle.
If you're talking about them playing either the Rams, the Packers, or the Vikings that slide in there, those are the type of teams they would play as the 2 seed.
Well,
they wouldn't play Tampa Bay.
Listen, I just today was proof. I looked at this game as a get-right game for them, an opportunity for them to find themselves in a myriad of different ways in all phases of the game. Things were looking good. They hadn't had a special teams blunder all season until, that nonsense coming out of halftime. Actually, the bright spot is, Britton Covey actually set them up for their first drive. But I don't know.
I texted Seth after that, Parsi.
Yeah.
I said, they were just shot. That was the closest he's ever going to get.
Hey, it ain't over.
It's all good.
You got close, Seth.
We got him one more time. We get him one more time. But I just thought that this would be the game where they would find a way to put it all together with all the stuff surrounding this football team and everything that's going on. To play a team this awful, to play a team who's been so battered and beaten up all season long, and to only win this game by 5 points, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it instills what I said, earlier during the 3-game slide, is that we kind of all fell in love, with 10-1, and we all drank the Kool-Aid and felt like this team was headed in the right direction. Where to Farzi's point, you keep hearing find a way to win and, oh, what a resilient football team. Well, teams that are struggling, they use, catchphrases like that, oh, we won in a resilient manner. Oh, we won. And, we're finding ways to win. Those are teams that are continually trying to find themselves. And this football team has been trying to find itself ever since week 1 of this season. And here we are in going into week 17, and they're still trying to find themselves, So what kind of confidence does that give you that they can beat anybody to go out and lay an egg? You gave away a game against Seattle last week, okay? Just gave it away. Game was yours for the taking, and you couldn't put them away. Then you come in, you got the stinking Giants coming to town. You beat them the last 10 years in a row, okay? They can't beat you in Philly, period. And then they come in with a backup to the backup to the backup of the backup, and he just marches down the field and comes within, a hair of tying this game up and pushing it into overtime. So when you keep continuing to think about where this team wants to go and how they've got us excited because of where they went last year and what the expectations are for this year, and you become, if you're real with yourself. Now, I'm talking about being real with yourself. I'm not talking about living in la la land and wishing for the best. I hope for the best for this football team, but I'm also not a person that lives in la la land. My job as an analyst, as a guy who played this game at the highest level, is to analyze this game and understand and talk to people about, where the good is and where the bad. This team has some good stuff. They did some good things on defense today. They did some good things on offense today. It wasn't just a complete wash, okay? But they've been trying to find themselves all season long. And they have these Jekyll and Hyde moments where they look brilliant one minute, and then the next minute they look like the damn Keystone Cops. Penalties, drop balls, guys running into each other. Come on, good football teams who really truly have Super Bowl aspirations, they don't make dumb plays like they make sometimes. That's just a fact. Just a fact. And you know what? If it hurts your feelings over here in the comments, I'm sorry. It's just a fact.
And Farzy, 25 points given up to the New York Giants, who played 2 quarterbacks today, which is just mind-blowing for how the Eagles were able to give them that much, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Jalen Hurts, another turnover on offense. I know that wasn't his worst play. You guys were talking about it in the segment before, but it definitely wasn't pretty either. Do you think that anything could click? Do you say to yourself, okay, if they play the Cardinals and the Giants and they dominate those 2 games, that they could pick up some heat going into the playoffs? Do you think that's where they're headed? Or do you say, at this point, I don't expect them to go anywhere else with the divisional round?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Again, it does matter who they play, who they face. My issue is, last year we looked at Jalen Hurts and we said, no matter what, you have a chance to win because of this guy. You have a chance to win because of this guy. And this year I'm waiting. I find myself waiting more for the mistake. And it turns out the biggest mistake was the pick 6, but that wasn't necessarily his biggest mistake. Right before that, he had a throw into double coverage that might have even been a pick 6. He doesn't get out of bounds before the half, and maybe they have a shot to throw it into the end zone there before they end up kicking the field goal. And you've just seen, and you go back to seen time and time again, these mistakes being made by Jalen Hurts that you haven't seen him make in years past. There's no way Jalen Hurts last year is trusting Quez Watkins in one-on-one coverage on a 1st and 10 in Seattle with 8:15 left in the game. There's no way he's throwing that ball down the middle of the field. There's no way he's looking at A.J. Brown to make that play at the end of the Seahawks game. There's no way he's throwing in the double coverage like he did before the pick 6 in this game. There's no way he's not getting out of bounds. He just doesn't look like the same guy. And you can call it a regression, and that's bottom line what it's been. But I also believe, aside from him just not making a smart throw, I don't remember him looking off too many safeties or corners last year. That's something that he's always had to work on. But he sure as hell has not improved on it going into this year. And I'm not expecting him to all of a sudden be Aaron Rodgers, where he's looking at his safety, or excuse me, he's looking off the safety all the way to the left and then snapping back and hitting a short pass to the right, or even going deep down the right side of the field. I'm not expecting that kind of jump. But when you consistently see him staring down his receivers, that's not coaching. No coach is telling a quarterback where to telegraph a throw. And even though Dallas fell down, and if Dallas Goedert doesn't fall down, that ball probably hits him in the numbers and you have a nice little gain there. Either way, he's still making the same mistake of telling the defense exactly where the ball is going. So when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I don't know anyone, even the biggest Paulie Pom-Poms fan you can find, looks at Jalen Hurts this year and goes, he's still the same quarterback. It's only coaching. I believe coaching has a lot to do with it, but he has made far more mistakes this year. And it's not just by the numbers and turnovers. It's watching him play and stare down receivers consistently this year that doesn't look anything like the quarterback that we saw last year.
Nothing at all. And I want to talk about mistakes also from guys that we don't really see it from. Jason Kelce gets another false start in this game. Lane Johnson, another big holding penalty. And then the one where I just kind of put my hands on my head, I was like, please don't tell me it's the guy I believed in the whole season was Hassan Reddick with that big penalty at the end there. For you guys, the chemistry is clearly off in the locker room. Something's going on. The coaching's not there, whether it's from the top up or not. But even the veteran guys are starting to make these mistakes, and it's not good at this point of the season. Seth, I'll throw it to you real quick. At a coaching standpoint, do you think there's any time to kind of ravel these guys in and figure it out and fix it? This is also the same conversation we've been having all season long. At this point, for me, I think it's too late, and I'm not going to be surprised if they exit in the first round.
Well, listen, they've been trying to fix it all year. They've been trying to fix it for 16 weeks, and they've yet to come up with the remedy for it. So if that's the case, I'm of the opinion if they haven't fixed it by now, it's not going to get fixed. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of what ails this football team is that, everyone's feeling a sense of urgency inside. When you're a good football team, you just go out and play because you realize that your efficient play, your hard play, your work ethic, all of those things kind of fall into place. Like, when I was playing my best, it wasn't that I was like, I got to make a play. I got to make it. It wasn't a frantic type thing. I was just doing my job, and in the throes of doing my job, an interception, a sack, a caused fumble, a recovered fumble. There was always something that fell into place because everybody across the board was just doing their job. I think that, and I played on bad teams, where, things weren't going well, and as a player, my mindset was, I want to make plays, but I think sometimes you can get caught up doing more than what you're supposed to be doing, trying to do someone else's job. Like there are times where the ball is going away, and I'll see, Josh Sweat or Hassan Reddick, try to dip down under inside to go and make a play. And my thing when I'm watching that, I'm like, that's not your play. That is not your play. Now, I know that coaches always say, hey, let's hustle to the ball. Let's make a play. All of those cliches. But the truth of the matter is that everyone has a place where they're supposed to be and a job where they're supposed to do. And for offenses, they're trying to get just one guy out of position, one guy not doing what he's supposed to do, and they want to exploit that area. And the great quarterbacks see it right now. The great coordinators see it and say, okay, we're going to flip this over and we're going to come back to this play later on in the game, and we're going to take advantage of this problem that they're having in this particular area. When I look at the Eagles, this is what I see. I see guys that are trying to do more than what their job requires. And in the throes of doing that, you get holding penalties, you get offsides penalties, guys trying to get a jump. You got guys that are making just, not smart plays because they're trying to compensate in a situation where they know that everything isn't right, that the big plays aren't there, that I got to make something happen. I'm one of the leaders on the team, and if it's going to be, it's up to me. And I got that kind of mentality gets you in trouble, because if everybody across the board does their job, then you're going to have success, and there's going to be enough plays for everybody across the board to make their big plays. And if it's not your play tonight, it'll be your play tomorrow, next week. Okay, that's the way the game works. It always balances itself out in that regards to statistics and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But to your point, again, I see a team that's really reaching, that's stretching, that's trying. Everyone's trying to do a little bit too much instead of just relaxing, and like the great basketball players do, they just relax and let the game come to them. They might not take a shot in the first quarter, but they still may wind up with 30 by the time the game is over, because once the game comes to them, They're going to take the shots that are there for them. They're going to make the passes that are there for them. They're not going to try to, play hero ball and shoot from half court. They're going to just play the game and let the game come to them and let it play out the way it naturally would play out. And if there's no plays for them in that game and you still win, you're okay. Because guess what? Somebody else does.
It's about reliability with this team. We used to rely on them to do certain things. The most reliable thing they did tonight was they took time off the clock at the end when they were up 30-25, when they needed to take some time off the clock. The Giants had just scored, so you needed to have a drive to eat up some time. And they did eat up 4+ minutes. They didn't get the touchdown. They got a field goal, but that left the Giants with 1:10 with no timeouts left. So that was a reliable thing that we were used to seeing the Eagles do last year and in previous wins. John McMullen's going to join us on the other side. He covered the game for JAKIB Media. We'll hear from John right after this on the Pond Hockey Eagles postgame show. Back after this.
Hello.
And welcome
to the Diamond Debate
with Liam and Hillary
in the heart of Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania.
What you got for us today on your right hand, Hill?
Today we've got a right hand ring, Liam.
What is that?
It's a ring that you would wear on your right hand.
That's it?
That's all there is to it.
Okay.
It's meant to balance your left hand situation, or if you're not engaged or married, it says, I'm not engaged or married, but I still have this over here that's sparkly.
There's a lot of other ways you can say that.
No, not if you're trying to wear jewelry. Which
Okay.
one's your favorite?
I love this Art Deco moment. I mean, with these beautiful baguettes and round diamonds. I mean, who wouldn't say no to one of these?
Baguettes are hot right now. People also love an eternity band. It's beautiful.
Great for the other hand.
That's right. So come on down here, for love grows here at Mark's Jewelers.
Every day of the week except Sundays and Mondays.
That's because we are closed.